Hey Intertube, today I become a man. Invented not to, boys bungee jump off a wooden tower with a vine to become men. If you're a fan of Gravity Falls, in order for Dipper to become a man, he has to fight the multi-bear. And in the Amazon, boys have to stick their hands in gloves filled with angry bullet ants. Insane. However, the most difficult way to earn your manhood can be found within the sacred text, Diary of a Wimpy Kid Dog Days. This book right here. You're probably asking yourself two very important questions right now. Tyson, why do you have a diary? It's not a diary, it's a journal. And two, where did you get such a coveted book? Well, the library, where you get all of the books you ever need. For those of you who have never been to a Scholastic book fair, the Diary of a Wimpy Kid book series follows Rodrick Heffley, an extremely narcissistic teenager that always gets his way, through his crazy life of playing video games and hanging out with friends. As a kid, I related a lot to Rodrick Heffley, more because of the kid part, less of the wimpy part. This book specifically, Diary of a Wimpy Kid Dog Days, follows Rodrick Heffley through his summer misadventures with his friend Rowley and his older brother Rodrick. Speaking of Rodrick, in this book, Rodrick talks about the cranium shaker.
The Cranium Shaker!
If you open up your copy of Diary of a Wimpy Kid Dog Days and turn it to page 9, you'll hear what Rodrick has to say about the Cranium Shaker. Rodrick's been on the Cranium Shaker at least 100 times, and he says you can't call yourself a man until you ride it. I need to find the real Cranium Shaker so I can call myself a man. Too bad it doesn't exist. Or does it? There is a real Cranium Shaker. Every year my hometown holds this carnival called Steel Days. I don't know why we have to celebrate steel for multiple days, but I guess it's pretty fun. In the park, they set up this huge carnival with a fireworks show, activities, prizes, and concerts. Super fun stuff. This year, my friends and I went to the carnival. Normally, I don't ride any of the carnival rides for two reasons. One, they're too expensive, and two, it's hard to put my trust in something that's broken down every week and put on the back of a truck. This year, my friend Camden and I saw something we needed to ride. The Cranium Shaker.
The Cranium Shaker!
Camden and I raced to the ticketing booth to buy tickets to the Cranium Shaker. Here's a reenactment of how that went. Hey sir, we're here to ride the Cranium Shaker.
Shaker? I hardly know her. No, seriously, I don't know what you're talking about.
You know, the one that goes like that?
Oh, you mean the zipper?
Yes, that one. Zippers were invented in 1917, but the zipper has been around since 1968, and it has a crazy history. In fact, back in 1977, US Consumer Product Safety Commission issued a public warning that the ride was unsafe. I'm literally the apparently kid.
Apparently sometimes I don't watch the news.
Apparently the door latches would occasionally open up and people would go flying. I'm serious. 4 people have died on this ride and 2 people have been seriously injured. Rodrick wasn't joking. This is intense. When it comes to town carnivals and waiting in line, people adopt a Wild West philosophy of, this town ain't big enough for the both of us. Meaning a lot of people cut us in line. And me, trying to be a nice civilized person, I just waited in the back of the line as the line progressively got longer and longer. I could have said something, but honestly I'm afraid of that kind of social confrontation, so I just said nothing. While we stood there in line, I decided to make a video out of this because I figured it would be fun. Unfortunately, it wasn't very fun. A group of kids showed up in front of us, and these children were probably the most vile human beings I've ever met. Start saying like the craziest things right now, okay? Say the craziest thing. The first thing these hooligans did when they butted us in line was boop me in the nose. Nobody boops me in the nose. Boop. Junior! But fortunately for us, they left. After they left, Camden and I waited in line for like another 30 minutes when I noticed I had lost my tickets. I checked my pockets and the tickets were gone. My prevailing theory is that one of those dastardly children stole my tickets. Anyway, I had a decision to make. Should I go back to the field and watch the fireworks show with my friends? Or should I go back to the ticketing booth and get another ticket? I wanted to be a man so bad that I decided to walk back to the ticketing booth to get more tickets. But on my way, something caught my eye. A small ticket on the ground. I picked it up and started scouring the ground like a dog underneath a dinner table for more tickets. I might have just found enough tickets to do this. I don't know if these are legal, but I certainly did find them. I eventually found 5 tickets, which was 2 more than I had previously. So I got back in line and I continued to wait and wait. The fireworks show was pretty cool, although I watched it from the line. By the time the fireworks ended, we were second in line, about to ride the ride, about to become men. After waiting in line for so long, we found out that each ride took about 2 minutes. The time was currently 10:20, and the rides close at 10:30. So, using my mathematician brain, I figured we'd be done with the ride within 4 minutes. But then the ride operator came into the picture. You see, the ride operator didn't want to change out the cages. So what he did was let the ride run for an extra couple minutes. By the time the ride stopped, it was 10:30, so he had to close the ride. Trust me, Camden and I tried everything. We even tried to bribe the ride operator. That did not work.
Let's go. Well, I'm glad I didn't buy tickets. One, because you didn't need to buy them because you picked them up off the ground. Two, all right, Brayden, I don't need this right now, all right? Normally, I'm not that sad of a guy. Normally, I'm a pretty upbeat guy, you know? But today, I feel like listening to Billie Eilish. That's how sad I am right now.
So I never rode the Cranium Shaker and never became a man. The end. Just kidding, this movie has a sequel. While I was at work being really bummed out that I wasn't a man, when my coworker, let's call her Berlin, because that's her name, came up to me and said, "Oh, have you heard of Peach Days?" Turns out another town in Utah has a carnival every year, only instead of celebrating steel for a couple days, they celebrate peaches, which honestly tastes a lot better than steel. I used my persuasion and charisma to convince my friends to drive 2 hours to this town to ride the zipper. This is the family-friendly town of Brigham City. Bro, that dog could kill me. Upon arriving at Peach Days, we had 2 goals. 1, get peaches for my mom, and 2, become men. Men in like a gender-neutral sense of the word, because there were girls with us. We walked up to the ticket booth, and that ticket booth employee tried to scam me.
Hey, do you want to buy more tickets?
No! We went over to the ride and waited in line for 5 minutes. That's right, the line was so much better because we got there a lot earlier in the day. And before I knew it, I was on the zipper. Keep in mind, I've been waiting for this moment for so long. Ever since I cracked open the pages of Jeff Kinney's Diary of a Wimpy Kid dog days, I knew I had to ride the Cranium Shaker. As I sat in that cage, I then realized, what if this really is dangerous?
This is so bad. Regan, did you hear the guy say help?
I heard the guy say help. Is he serious?
He's screaming for help. No, no, no. Regan and I are riding this ride because Rodrick said if you ride this ride, you become a man. What are all those cords for?
That's actually so terrifying to think about. Like, if it really swung open,
We're dead.
we're literally gone.
Oh! This is real. This is Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I could never be an astronaut.
I didn't get a shirt that said I survived the Cranium Shaker like Raleigh did in the book, but I did become a man, and so did my friends. I also got peaches for my mom, and that was pretty cool, because I got to pick out the peaches like a little farmer. And the peaches were amazing. I see why they call it Peach Days. After riding the zipper, I didn't feel any different. I still felt like myself, only a little bit dizzier, and I had a little bit of a headache. But then I realized something. What if I didn't need to ride the zipper to become a man? And what if I just was a man all along? Sometimes all it takes to be a man is to be respectful and not cut people in line at the carnival. Seriously. To fully round out this journey of self-discovery, we had to get some burgers.